Hey everybody, do you ever just see a Steven Crowder video and even though you haven't posted anything on your YouTube channel for like 3 months, it just pulls you back in. It's calling to you, and you just have to, because this clip perfectly in 4 minutes capsulizes what Steven Crowder is. Just an incredibly stupid buffoon. So let's jump right into it.
This is an example where no one has talked about this. It only had 100,000 plays or 150,000 plays yesterday compared to the Ahmaud Arbery interaction that you saw, which had millions. Again, what kind of tenor and tone, while we're talking about police officers who need to de-escalate all the time? Well, is there also a duty on citizens? Do we have a responsibility to not try and instill fear of death in officers by, I don't know, reaching in our pockets or saying, I'm going to F you up, boy, which I know sounds like an exaggeration, but here's the interaction of Ahmaud Arbery with police officers that you haven't seen before.
So before we watch that, there's two things I want to point out. First of all, the reason why this instant that we're going to look at didn't get millions of views like the video of him actually getting murdered did is because he didn't get murdered in this video. That should be pretty obvious to someone who has, I don't know, just that much common sense. A video of someone dying, getting murdered, is going to have a lot more views than a video of him not getting murdered. Right? Naturally. Second of all, do police have a responsibility to not only not escalate but de-escalate situations? Yes, it is their job to protect and serve even those who might be hostile if they can without putting their life in extreme danger or whatever. Right? But the average citizen does not have that same responsibility because they are not a police officer. They're not wearing that badge, and they do not have a gun with them at all time. They do not have the power that a police officer has. So they do not have the same responsibilities of a police officer, and nor should we think that they should. Because as we should hold police officers to a much higher standard. So I know he liked to preference the video with his little weird 2 points beforehand, but those are just my two counters to his 2 points.
You want to know
Watch the
why
video.
I'm with you? Why? Keep your hand in your pocket.
I ain't got shit on me. What the you with me for?
I'll tell you why I'm here, man.
Why?
I'll tell you why I'm
Why?
here. Because this area is known for drug activity.
Drug? How the I'm drug attack when I work at Blue Beacon?
Back up.
Check my shit.
Back up.
The you talking about?
Now listen here.
Check
Back
my
up.
shit. You hit me
Send me
with
another
that
unit,
shit, you
please.
gonna
Send me another unit.
Yeah, you gonna get effed up.
What?
That's a threat. Cop it.
I'm pretty sure he said if you hit me with that, referring to what I'm assuming was a taser, you're gonna get effed up. Which, if you tase me for seemingly being aggressive, sure, but not really doing anything, I would say. Just aggravated, just slightly aggressive. You know, I don't know. I don't think that that's this egregious thing.
Doesn't do anything by
I
the
don't know. He probably shouldn't have said it, but I don't think it's super egregious.
way. They don't give him a ticket at all.
I'm not going in your car. Back up.
Bro, don't touch me, bro. You can't touch
Listen.
me, bro. Don't touch my car and don't touch me.
I'm not touching
I think
your
I heard him
car.
utter into his
I'm
radio,
looking inside your
melanin.
car.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
No.
You can't look inside my shit. Enough.
Yeah, I'm 10-4. Send me another unit. You're not allowing me to search your car?
You can't go in my shit.
I'm not asking you. Just don't reach the car, man.
Get your hand out of your pocket.
Hands out your pocket.
Hand out your pocket.
That guy doesn't know at that point
Down.
that he's already been checked for weapons.
Stay on the ground. Just stay
Oh,
on
it
the
is a
ground,
warning. Okay. All right.
Keep your hands out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's already been checked for weapons, so that guy just tried to tase him for absolutely no reason. That's what Steven Crowder just said, right? Am I misreading that?
No, keep
I've
your
I'm misunderstanding.
Well, I don't think you need a warning at that point if someone's reaching in their pocket.
No,
Someone's been
for
called for
weapons.
backup,
He
but
said
yeah.
warning, and that's the
Multiple.
But he's already been checked for weapons, so that should have been communicated over the radio before he showed up. Do we?
Yeah. Now, here's the beauty. He had a suspended license.
If you can, well, your
What?
car, you technically, your license is suspended. So, technically, you can't really drive the car.
I think he just said, I don't have a car, which is funny.
We'll go ahead and get your hair, man.
Now, let me say something that might be unpopular here. I believe that actually Ahmaud Arbery in that instance was given grace because of his race, and those cops didn't want to be in the nightly news.
Yeah.
At the very least, that looks illegally parked.
So that's not only an unpopular opinion, it's an incredibly stupid one. When was the last time you saw a nightly news story about two racist white cops give a ticket to a black man? What? Are you having a stroke? Are you fucking okay? That is not a good excuse. That is not a good reason not to give someone a ticket. Were they just feeling generous? Did they just not want to take any more of his shit? Were they just annoyed and wanted to get it over with? Did they not want to escalate it any further? Maybe one of those. Maybe they were just feeling nice, like I said. I don't know. But the fact that they didn't want to end up on the nightly news, Steven, are you fucking stupid? God.
And I've gotten tickets for being double parked out of the line. Now, how would I know this? Have I had any experience with driving on a suspended license and not telling a cop that he was going to get effed up and running up on him several times with my hand in my pocket? You know, citizenry. So, what happened was actually I was pulled over. And this got wiped because what happened was I had gotten one ticket in my life at this point.
Yeah.
I had gotten it in Michigan, in my wife's car. We weren't married at the time. In a town where I didn't live, and they sent the ticket to an address where I'd never been.
I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
No idea what the address was. I don't know why that was marked down. And so what happened is
I would have already shot you at this point.
well, no. So I had no idea. So in other words, I never
Hand on gun.
I never paid the
Coming out.
ticket, and I never got pulled over again. And then I got pulled over, and they said, "Do you know your license is suspended?" And I said, "No, why?" I said, "You have a ticket from whatever it was 2 years ago in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in a speeding trap with an angry lesbian cop." But you know, I digress. I said,
Naturally, notice how nothing is ever Steven's fault. You would never take responsibility for anything. Hey, maybe I was speeding. Hey, my bad. No, it was an angry lesbian cop, and it was also a speeding trap. I don't know. Maybe Steven Crowder is just Jesus Crowder. I don't know.
No, I have
that
no
against
idea.
details.
He goes, "Yeah, well, you know what? You can't drive this car." And at the time, I had a cameraman there. He said, "So, where are you going?" Well, I was going that very day to the Lansing protest where I was repeatedly punched in the face. I said, "I'm going down to the Lansing State Capitol." He said, "All right, well, I need you to switch out. That man can drive the car. You can't drive the car, and I'm going to follow you to the Lansing Capitol. And by the way, here's your ticket and your court date that I had to show up for."
Gosh.
And that happened. You get tickets for driving on a suspended license.
Yeah.
They didn't give this guy any kind of a ticket. Repeatedly walking up on the officer, repeatedly reaching into his pocket. I don't know if there's any kind of a...
So, real quick before we get to the end of this video, I just want to point out how Steven Crowder's story is incredibly not analogous to the situation that we just saw. Because first of all, he was driving. Obviously, Ahmaud Arbery was driving that car, sure, but the cops didn't come up to him, didn't pull him over when he was driving the car. He was parked. So it's harder to give someone a ticket for driving under suspended license if the car's stationary. Also, you had a previous ticket that you did not pay, so naturally they're going to give you a ticket and a court date for that. Naturally. Also, they can arrest you for being on for driving on a suspended license. So I don't know what point you're trying to make, but you're just all over the place with this, Steven. This is just not a good video for you. This is not a good look.
ticket you can give out for a man saying to a cop, "You're going to get f***ed up, boy," but it seemed to me like at the very least it's ill-advised, and then
Sure, yeah.
nothing
I can
for a
agree
suspended
with that.
license or illegally parked. You know why? Because there's probably...
Also, do you know if that was illegally parked? He keeps saying this. Steven Crowder has a problem where he just thinks something might be true, so he just assumes it's true, and then it just is true. Stop doing that. It's stupid. It's bad. It's dumb. It's not helpful.
a conversation. This is me speculating, going, do you want to be in the nightly news for this?
Right.
This guy's obviously very irritated.
Yeah.
He's yelling at us. He just said he's gonna F me up if we do anything. Just let him go with a suspended license.
Yeah.
God knows how many more crimes can be committed. This is...
So let's just think about what he just said at the very end. So when you take into account that he said, well, God knows how many more crimes are going to be committed, referring to Ahmaud Arbery, who at the current time is dead, saying that, hey, maybe if we stopped him or arrested him, I guess, maybe he wouldn't have committed any more crimes. But why do white cops end up on the nightly news? It's not for giving people tickets. It's not for arresting black people. It's for shooting them. It's for shooting unarmed black people. So even though that the one cop at the very least knew that he was unarmed, Steven Crowder almost sounded like he wanted them to shoot them or shoot him. I mean, am I reading this wrong? Is this a far out take when you say, hey, these cops didn't want it up on the nightly news, even though they definitely wanted to shoot him, and he kind of deserved it because he was had his hands in his pockets and was being aggressive. Steven Crowder is trying to make the argument that Ahmaud Arbery should have died weeks before he was actually murdered. That's what I'm sorry, but when I watch this video, that's what I'm taking away from it. That's what I'm reading. And nothing else in this video makes any sense. This video makes the most sense when you look at it in the eyes that Steven Crowder kind of thought it was a good thing that Ahmaud Arbery died. Only way it makes sense. If not, it's just gibberish from a crazy person. But anyway, I am happy that I made this video. This was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope you do too. Until next time, guys, stay breezy, always cheesy. Peace out.